Always had one ambition, and the main ambition is to be the world's strongest man under 80 kilos. Ambition this year though is to retain the Europe's strongest man title. Other competitors are always the biggest obstacle.
Stop! He's fucking in there! Just cut! Go!
My name's Danny Flash Ashcroft. I'm 36 years old, originally from Morecambe, but now live in Barrow-upon-Soar, which is a small village just outside Loughborough in the Midlands. Currently Europe's strongest man under 80 kilos. Started initially training with no view on competing, then entered a competition, got the bug for it, then took another couple of years to actually start winning. 3 England strongest man under 80s, 2 Britain strongest man under 80s, and a Europe strongest man under 80s. When I won Europes, I was probably in the best shape of my life.
Stop. Stop.
Opened up with 250 deadlift for reps. I knew the best deadlifter there had pulled 8, so I was like, I'll pull 9 and I'll win the event. Won 15 load for reps. I think everyone in the field except Dean McVie zeroed it, and Dean only got 1. Comfortably hit 2 and just bowed out at that, knowing that I'd taken top points on that event as well. The final event was sandbag loading. A 100 kilo sandbag carried 20 metres and loaded over a 48-inch yoke, and then back 20 metres to get a 110 sandbag and do exactly the same, load it over the yoke. I took 2nd place on that event as well, which ended up giving me a 15-point victory at the comp. Pride of place. Everyone that comes around has to get a look at that. It was a great day. Obviously been holding on to this for a while. I remember my last ever title that I held on to. 2nd at this competition in 2019 was Dean McVie, 15 points behind the Flash. He will not be 15 points behind me anymore. He's progressed a hell of a lot. A phenomenal athlete, obviously 3rd place at Official Strongman Games Worlds last year, and I know he's chomping at the bit to take this off me, along with a few others like Ben Donin. So it's going to be some show in August. I compete in the under 80 kilo category. Last year, after Official Strongman Games in Daytona, I actually shot up to 102 kilos, so 22 kilos over the weight category, which I think in old money is just over 3.5 stones. Well, when I got back, I went to see a doctor and they could think it was stress, raised cortisol levels, which apparently makes you hold extreme amounts of water. I didn't cope myself very well with the hurricane situation.
There are some evacuations in place right now in airports, including Orlando International. They are closing ahead of this storm.
Deputies and police are evacuating buildings now deemed just too unsafe for people to be inside.
I had no idea a hurricane was happening. I've just done a 10-hour flight by myself and I'm like already stressed, and then that's just notched it up another like amount of levels. I'm worried about my weight and making weight, and I just started retaining every little bit of water that I put in my body. My hands had swollen up like mad, so gripping the farmers, which is a bad event for me in the past anyway, but I actually felt really good going into it. The farmers' handles were beautiful at OSG last year. It felt really nice in the hand, but my hands were just like twice the size, and then these little sausage fingers were like out here, so gripping the farmers was a real ordeal. At the end of the day, there was loads of guys that were just stronger and better prepared for that contest than me.
Carrying cars to lifting logs, the Strongman Games are showcasing the talents of the world's strongest people.
The Official Strongman Games is the pinnacle of weight class strength sport. It's where you win European and world titles. So if you want that accolade and you want to be the best in Europe, the best in the world, you have to win the title. And the only place you can do that is at the Official Strongman Games. OSG 2022, what a show. Expectations coming in a bit heightened, more so than they should be. I don't enter a competition unless I think I can win now. Those days have gone for me. I won't be turning up just to show up and just have a nice time. I'm here to win. Was I strong enough, or was I like fooling myself with that as well? I don't know. I was strong enough on certain events, but poor on other events as well, so maybe I wouldn't have been strong enough to make the top 10 anyway. Official Strongman Games, day 1, event 1, Viking press.
Looking for the event win here?
Trying, mate, yeah, feel good, but so many monster presses in this class, it's going to be a tough one. It's just going to have to go 60 seconds of reps. I was, to be honest, expecting to be fighting for the win on that, like maybe first or second. Took 4th place on that. A little disappointing, but a good start, to be honest with you. Like you can't moan at that start, right?
How's that feeling, class?
Heavy.
Yeah. Happy with 11?
What? Yeah.
Happy with 11?
What did Dean get?
15.
Event 2, Farmer's Walk. 15 metre drop turn, 15 metre with 130 kilo per hand. Farmer's Walk is not a great event for me. I should have completed the 30 metres no problem and then spat them out on the return run and then just couldn't finish the run. It's just expected. It's a PB. Do you know what? I probably can't pick up enough points to now make top 10, and that put me probably a poor mentality to carry into the deadlift. Was probably realistic, to be honest with you, and it sort of ended my comp there. Went into the deadlift, I pulled 6 reps. Decent points. It wasn't world breaking. It wasn't poor, but it wasn't enough to be able to be like, right, bag to shoulder, you can pull this out of the bag and make top 10.
6 reps, good. Target was 6, so I'm really pleased with that. Hopefully it holds out.
Event 4, final event of first day, is sandbag to shoulder ladder. I had nothing left in terms of my A, strength, and B, like emotions. Everything that was in there, I was gone in the head, and it's another poor event. I was strong enough on certain events, but poor on other events as well, so maybe I wouldn't have been strong enough to make the top 10 anyway. Yeah, it hurt my ego. It made me a little bit more humble within the sport and thought, yeah, you know what, there are people out there who are much better than me. Let them have it and try and sort of make a comeback maybe on the back of that. So currently 8 weeks out from Europe's Strongest Man under 80 for me. Today you're all welcome to the Flash Barn version 3. Going to be training log press, log being my best event. I want to capitalise on it, get as many points as I can on the day. But we're going to go 115 next, just because those reps felt pretty comfortable at 110, so I'm going to clean, press free from the chest. Yeah, so I'm up to 125 now, just going to hit a few singles. I had sort of an unenforced 4 weeks off from training. My fiance had a bad horse riding accident. She's a competitive show jumper. The accident was real bad, yeah, I was very worried. Small brain hemorrhage. When I got to her, she was sort of on her back gasping for air, so there's no doubt that it did negatively affect me, but to be honest, I put myself to the back, just focused on her, getting her better. At the end of the day, that's the most important thing to me, is to make sure she was okay. Now just going to go into some sandbag steeplechase. Actual comp weights, 110, 120 sandbag steeplechase. I'm going to warm up with some pickups, no runs, into just one top set of sandbag steeple. It's very fatiguing, very tiring event, but if you can just drill it once a week, I'm happy that it'll pay off. Pretty happy with that, to be honest. First ever run through, weights felt really comfortable, loads felt really comfortable. Yes, I did load that last one at the end, just can't load it on top of that. Comp weight, comp height, about 2 meters less than comp distance, so Happy days. So training power stairs now, final event, final day, Europe Strongest Man's 6th event. This is where comps can be won and lost. I'm expecting it to be unbelievably tight. Yeah, competed in this event once and once only, OSG Wales 2019. Final event there as well, went into it 3 points behind Tommy Lavelle, so I was in 2nd place. Ended up finishing the comp in 6th. Wasn't good enough or strong enough to finish it on the day, and it to this day still browns me because I should have won that comp in my opinion. Got 155 on the handle. Small man problems. Just got to remember to set my feet back, give myself loads of room for that pull. Set my feet back, pull hard, I can get behind the plate. But if it's right central to me, as soon as I pull, the plate's smacking into my legs. Just got to remember. Yeah, Britain's Strongest Man's coming up 3 weeks before Europe's. Very similar events actually, I think that's just totally random.
Welcome, we are here in Lytham in St Anne's for the under 80 kilo Britain's Strongest Man. We have got 15 of the strongest athletes in Britain competing today.
Opening up max log. Then we're into a nice 255 axle deadlift for reps. Then we're into Husavelt bag carry, bit of a new event.
John is off. The bags here. Yep.
Farmers dreading it, but we'll get what we can out of there. Yoke into sandbag, love that event. Today was just really big disappointment in the end. My glute and hip injury has just come back with vengeance after deadlift and put pain to my day really. I couldn't really do anything at full tilt and I had to pull out after the yoke sandbag. I can't have gone any worse, to be honest with you. During the pandemic, middle of 2020, I realised that I was getting sort of these mental pains through my hamstrings initially, and we initially thought it was a high hamstring tendinopathy, but then it transpired that it was going through my glutes, and there was all these sort of pains that I was getting, that like shooting pains through my glutes that were just unbelievable. So I had a good 6 months of not doing any real training. Then they announced Britain's Strongest Man 2021. In hindsight, it was really foolish, absolutely ruined. Couldn't deadlift, couldn't squat, couldn't do any sort of movement event. The only thing I could really do was log, and it was strict log at that. I couldn't push press because it was that painful. It's still there, the injury is still there. When it's one of those days, just pack your bag again and go home. Tomorrow's another day and it'll be all right. Like, don't get hung up on it. I am Danny the Flash Ashcroft and I am on the road to OSG.